because we're in the process of getting our updated ones done.
Okay.
Look at our passport. So it has like all the steps. Like
Okay.
But you're coming through a secret entrance. All of the food that in this area. These guidelines are from our national network. It's called Feed. Or items that require refrigeration. They, hey, you guys have any produce? Like, we really need some, and they can always help truck it to them, right?
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I actually paid a visit to Hawaii Foodbank, and Hawaii Foodbank is basically it's a 401k nonprofit organization that serve people food that they need. They've been operating for a while, and you could apply to Hawaii Foodbank if your income is lower than at a certain amount that you make a year, and depending on how many children that you have, and so all that social status all involved. So it's very sensitive. It's definitely, it's not like, you know, like, hey, we're serving people food and this is what we do. It's so much more than just, hey, we're serving food. There's just so many emotions and like operations. It's just, I don't know, this experience was very life-changing for me. It was different. Went there for a school project, but it ended up being just me like getting to know what's going on and like how does it work and like what is the challenging thing that they have faced over years. And I've asked all those questions and put it in one video, and I decided to vlog about it. And I just want to say thank you to Hawaii Foodbank headquarters to allow us to film in there and letting us to ask some sensitive questions about Hawaii Foodbank. And I hope you guys enjoy by watching this video and getting to know what kind of things they do. And if you want to help in any way as possible, there's a link down the description about Hawaii Foodbank, and you could apply to be a volunteer there. So you guys can check it out, description down below. And if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment any thoughts, and make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification button. And yeah, that is it for me from this introduction, and I hope you guys like this video and enjoy.
So anyway, our drivers, we're staffed of about 40. We have two branches, one here, one in Kauai, as you guys know.
Right.
And so 40 staff, 5 are in Kauai, the rest are here. So we have drivers, our warehouse operations staff, and then our administrative staff and executive staff upstairs. So when our drivers go out, they start their day at about 5:30 a.m. every morning. So you saw some of the trucks outside, yeah, right? So they run their routes, and they do pickups from donors. So the majority of those donations come from retailers and wholesalers. So they do those routes, pick up all the food, and they come back. Sometimes they have to come back in the middle of their shift because their truck gets too full. Right. And then drop off donations and then head back out on over. Right. So we have about, I think 5 drivers or 6 drivers that run pickups throughout the week. So they're doing this about 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. See, this is kind of like the hot spot for our volunteers. This is where we kind of need them the most, is the sortings. It happens every day. And we put things into categories so you can see those guidelines that we follow. These guidelines are from our national network. It's called Feeding America. So every 2 years, our organization goes through some pretty intense auditing, not just for the warehouse, but also on the administrative side of things, to make sure that the organization is running up to par. We work with about 200 partner agencies to distribute all the food that we decorate. The rule is first in, first out, so we don't want anything sitting for too long. Right. Because otherwise then it goes to waste, right? So to reduce waste, we want to get it out really quickly. So Mike here oversees the volunteers that sort. So they put it in all the categories as labeled. They're actually in the process of revamping this area. So it used to be, this is one of the areas that we kind of figured might need a different type of management, because we used to have categories all along the way, and we'll just put things in pallets instead of sorting it into a little bit more detailed categories. So instead of crackers and gravy and broth, we actually used to have just all assorted dry packaged goods, and so our agencies would have to fish through to find things that they needed. So let's see that. Oh, looks like we've got a bunch of pet food too. So we do get things like pet food and miscellaneous items. As long as it's still good for use, we do work with some partner agencies that are dedicated to animal welfare. So if they partner with us, they can actually pick up food that they need. So let's head in.
So basically, like the Feeding America is like they provide, like with you guys, like kind of partially
a lot of resources.
A lot of resources.
Yeah, at a bigger scale. And so, like I saw some of your questions. So because things like, you know, as far as the issues that we face being waterlogged, right, on an island, that makes us pretty unique from other locations on the mainland, because if they were running short of supplies, for instance, things like produce, they could talk to a neighbor and say, hey, do you guys have any produce? Like, we really need some, and they could always help truck it to them, right? Versus here, we have to work on shipping. So if there were to be a major disaster, then I think we'd be in trouble, right? We'd then be relying on what's available here and what's available in the stores, right? So you can see the way the shopping floor is laid out. You know, this is pretty much, so there are different ways that we get out our food. The largest way is what we call our ohana distributions. And so the ohana distributions happen pretty much 6 days a week, I think, except for Sundays. I don't know if there are any on Sundays off the top of my head. But we work with about 30 different agencies that run these large-scale distributions. So basically what they do is we get trucks to drop off a bunch of the food to them, and then they distribute it in an organized fashion. Basically, I mean, we work with about 190 to 200 different agencies around the island. This list has been updated. So this is the current, or I guess the list as of last year.
Okay.
But it has been updated, so once we get our new fact book out, you guys will see that. Okay? But sometimes we get in miscellaneous items. If they're still good to use, we definitely keep them out because people can still use them.
Right.
But we do have some USDA funding to get items that are in high demand and shelf-stable, generally healthier items, so things like canned vegetables, canned beans, meals.
That's really important.
Yeah.
Like, healthy food is like very important.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we try, right?
That's really great. I think like, cause my personal look, like, Foodbank, like they might not have a lot of flexibility to get stuff that's like super healthy for people and like good nutrition, all that kind of stuff. But like you guys, I see that you guys like get stuff, try to get stuff, at least like put in work on those.
Well, we really are trying to shift people's thinking, right? Oftentimes, you know, and I think before when we were growing up, they would say just bring whatever you can, empty out your cupboards, right? And what we're trying to let people know now is, you know, let's think a little bit more beyond that. If you're asking us for things that we need, we can tell you right now that the top 5 items are rice, canned meats, but we're encouraging healthier meats like chicken and tuna, canned vegetables, canned fruits, and canned meals. And you know, we try and have them think of things that could be stretched amongst family members, but we also don't want to, like, you know, we understand we're on the islands, people grew up on Spam, it's kind of part of the culture, right? Vienna sausage. And so we get those donated all the time, and we don't want to tell people we don't want them, but we have the power to influence what choices they're making as far as donations go, right? And so what we tell them is think of things that you'd eat that are relatively healthy, you know, or healthy even, period, and consider donating that, right? Because it's not just things like Spam that people can't afford, it's the healthy items that they want that they can't afford. So there's really been a shift in thinking, not just here at our food bank, but a lot of food banks across the nation are trying to shift towards that. And I think some have even, you know, some can afford to turn away the food, but we are not, you know, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
And we don't want anything to go to waste. So if we can't save it, we try and find someone that can use it. Sorry guys.
Like it's crazy. They're all like unopened products, you know? Like I thought like Hawaii Foodbank is like, you know, people donate stuff and it's like you give out whatever you get and stuff, but like this is crazy. Like this is something I never thought. I'm just thinking like, how do they get the shortage of food? Like they have so much, and this is only 13 days worth of food. That's crazy. And they get shipped all the time. Like I see that with Amazon. This is crazy. This operation is crazy.
So earlier I talked about 1 in 5 people that were assisting. So we do have some programs that are geared directly towards certain populations. We consider the most vulnerable populations to be, do you want to guess? As far as demographics go in age.
Like young?
Okay, children, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're partially correct there.
Right.
So as far as the ages go, we definitely have more seniors that we help.
Oh,
so,
senior, right.
Those boxes up there with the white sheets, and you see all this food over here that's set out. These boxes are for what we call it's called Commodity Supplemental Food Program, or a Senior Food Box Program. So that program helps about 2,100 seniors both on Oahu and Kauai.
Wow.
We pack those boxes every once a month, and we're actually packing some tomorrow morning, which is why you guys see all this here.
Oh.
So if we have the fresh produce, the bread, the veggies, that by the time we get it, if the store can't sell it, it's already towards the end of its life.
Right.
So what that means is we have a shorter turnaround time to get it to people who need it before it goes.
Right.
So we try to get that out within 24 to 48 hours at the very least. And then
Wow, that's busy work.
yeah, it is busy work. So so that's why you don't see a lot of the staff here. Actually, a lot of them are, especially the warehouse staff, they start their day at like 6 a.m. So they're already gone for the day, except for some of our folks here, Johnny and Fa'ao and Mike. They pretty much stay at the warehouse to accept donations until about 4 p.m. today. But we do have drop-off sites all around the island. Napa Auto Parts actually helps accept donations year-round.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As well as Ruby Tuesdays and Hard Rock and Waikiki.
Oh, wow.
So our drivers go around and they check those as well, in addition to the retailers. So
I was
gonna ask about those.
There's an Amazon box.
Yeah, so Amazon actually reached out to us to see how they could help.
Wow. Okay.
The Big
That's
Island,
great.
especially right because of the lava
Right.
eruption, and then they had the flooding right after that, and then on Kauai we've had the flooding. So we have sent them some supplies, and we've helped them coordinate it because, as you can imagine, right, they're already dealing with a lot.
Right.
So to be able to offer them any assistance would be super helpful, right? As far as keiki go, we do have a backpack program, and this program provides, and I'm sorry I don't have a bag to show you, but it provides a bag of supplemental food for students at 2 schools, Princess Kailani Elementary and Lena Puni Elementary. Both are in Kalihi. So these are Title I schools, meaning that they do have really high populations of students that qualify for free and reduced lunch. And so because of that, we already know that there's a need, right? The families are low income. Actually, really quick, do you know what the biggest population of people that we serve is? So we talked about seniors, we talked about kids, but they all come from a certain type of family.
Working class, or
it's
like lower mid class.
Yeah, and so one of the misconceptions is actually that we only serve homeless families, but majority of the families that we help, we are that safety net for them.
Yeah.
So we're helping to prevent them from becoming homeless, right? So we are providing them with food so that they don't have to choose between purchasing food and paying for things like rent and utilities, right? A majority of the population is already in need. Why don't we just serve them all?
How do you guys distribute it? Like directly to?
That's a good question.
You guys go to store and distribute, or you?
It's done through an agency that partners with us. So they have a relationship with the school.
Right.
And they actually work it out with the school to go in and distribute it to the kids. So they set up that schedule with them.
To get to, I guess, like to the real tea, like of like this whole operation, like I want to know like how is this manageable? It's like all you guys, like all the employees, like how do you find these people? Like, and then like yeah, like volunteers, like I've seen all the staff members here. Yeah. They look like so happy and like enthusiastic about what they do.
Yeah.
I could truly see them that they really want to help out others, and I think it's amazing, like because it's like they're really just not here just to work, but just to like actually try to reach out. It's like amazing. That's why like I'm trying to like figure out like how did you find all these people. Like
there's some that I know that really just love the mission. They love being able to help others in a way that's meaningful, and I think that does that for them.
Right.
I came on board about a year ago, and they had the CEO at the time had left the company, and so while I was here, there was about maybe 6 months that we didn't have a CEO, and it was a little bit tough, right? Because having to make important decisions without having a leader. I mean, we still had our board help guide us. But I think it was a little bit challenging at times, especially during event season. I think when leadership leaves, you see it change out in staff, and that's across the board at any organization. We've seen that with organizations before. So, but right now we have a really good team, a really happy team. So they're a lot of fun to work with. I don't want to make it sound like we're perfect, because no one's perfect, but it is
I think it's great.
It's a pretty pleasant place to work.
I just never thought it would be like this. Like I was just surprised because I'm just like still non-profit.
Yeah.
People are trying, like you guys are trying to reach out.
Beverly, our director of food drive and events.
Hello.
Asher and Jason.
Hi.
So that's amazing. And then I like went up to the office. It's legit. Like it's yeah. I was just like expecting a lot. Like I was kind of underestimating just a little bit because
you didn't know, right?
Really didn't have an idea.
Yeah, and that's why it's good that you're actually physically here to kind of see for yourselves, you know,
like
what's happening.
I feel like, okay, so you guys distribute to all the agents and stuff. Like, I've seen a couple articles about food is being shortage, and like I just want to know, like, is it just like the disasters, like that's like the one of the factor, or like is it because there's more people that is going to?
Well, I think that's a great question. It's actually a combination of things. So I like to think of it that way. So we have our annual food drive time, January through about April, May, because we have a lot of things happening. We have what we call our annual food drive day in April. But up until that point, starting in January, we have different organizations and coalitions that are working to raise food and funds for the organization. And then I would say probably from about September or so, August, September, until about December, it's what we consider our community food drive period. And you know, that's when everyone's back in school, things are kind of back on schedule, right? And people are like, okay, it's the holiday season, let's figure out what we want to do, and they want to get back to us. So we kind of have that time frame covered, but you know, during the summer there is a little bit of a lull, and that's when you folks saw that in the news, right? We had about 9 days supply left of food, but it also came at a time when we were having hurricanes, near misses, right, coming really close to the islands, and causing flooding on Kauai again and the Big Island. And actually there was another one that happened here, and it was kind of a surprise, and it actually did some pretty serious damage to the Angel Network Charities, which is one of our partners in Calvary by the Sea in Hawaii.
The state's second largest food bank, located in Ainahaina, is set to finally reopen this week. Angel Network Charities had major flooding damage from the heavy rain in April. It's set to reopen on Thursday. Employees are hard at work restocking the shelves with food which was donated by the community.
We continuously have people come on Thursdays and Fridays throughout our closure to get food, and we had none. And you know, we were here working, and it would break our hearts.
It serves more than 2,500 people each month. It lost everything when the historic rains hit.
And so they actually had some infrastructure damage to their buildings, and their whole, the buildings got flooded. The facility is about 2 feet of water. So the refrigerators and everywhere where they kept food had actually gotten damaged, and they had to get everything restored and replaced. So there are things like that that kind of pull the resources. So I don't know if, when you guys came in, sometimes that tide water rises. So what we had to do in the warehouse is we actually lifted the food. So you can see that it's on pallets right now, but we actually lifted everything on the ground up and put them in the higher racks. So that, yeah.
Wow, that's
so
crazy.
so if there was water that came in, it wouldn't damage the food, right? Because we're right near a creek. If you go outside, you'll see
Right.
that.
The river right there.
Yeah. So
I'm beyond shocked about this operation. I feel like, I mean, I don't know, just like from like just the surface of this whole like Hawaii Foodbank, I was familiar with what that was, but like seeing it in my real eyes, just like it's a big deal. Like, because it's like, I mean, yes, I'm not somebody that just actually uses food banks in all these programs, but like just like looking at it from somebody who never really, I wouldn't say cared, but like never really paid attention to the,
well, you
like,
didn't have the need.
yeah,
to,
like,
right?
you know, organization. I feel like it's just like, I don't know, it's just like there should be more like message like out in the, I don't know, I think it's
so that's the kind of
beautiful.
balance, right? We are really small. We're a pretty small organization considering we have only about 40 staff on both sides. We are an organization that's working to help keep people off the streets. We don't want to be, paying our staff a salary that's going to help them become one of those families.
It's like, I know it's the school work, but at the same time, I came here with my vlog camera because I was like, I want to show people because I was looking at like YouTube videos about it, but like there wasn't much about operation. But I feel like it's always that like distributor and like they're, they have like they show a footage of giving out food.
They don't show all the work.
They're just like I know what that is, but like what's happening behind the scene, and I just see all of this.
Well, there are a lot of hands, right? So you saw Terry earlier.
Right.
So she works with the retailers to kind of, and the farmers to get them on board to say, hey, this is why you should donate to us, right? Don't let the food go directly to pig farmers because if it's still good, people can eat it.
Right.
And we have those people, like we can connect that resource. And then they say, okay, we see the value in that. How are we going to arrange for it? Then our drivers go out and they pick up that food. Then it comes here to the warehouse and the volunteers sort, right? Then it comes to the floor where the agency shop, or it goes out to the distribution and then it reaches the hands that we need. So it's a super interesting process. I love teaching people about the process actually because I think it's really cool that it works. And you only ever really see that distribution part, right? Because people want to know that it is helping people, which is great. But there is a science to behind.
This is hard work. Like this is,
is your job hard? Is your job hard?
like amazing. This is amazing. I just never thought it would be this big of its scale. So then just like the fact that it's only 2 weeks.
Well, and don't forget, there are other things like on the nonprofit side, there are things that we do like to help fundraise for our organization, right? So, yes, we take in the food donations, but we also need monetary donations to help not just purchase food, but also to go and do the transport of it, distribution of it, staffing to do all that, right? It takes a staff to do it. It takes a team to do it.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Like, it's an amazing opportunity for us to be here, and like just like seeing all this just like literally change the way I think.
Good. Well, I hope you consider giving back in some way.
Of course.
Even posting the videos, advocating.
Yeah, like I really want people to see this. Like this is so important. I feel like it's just like the amount of the work you guys put in. Just trying to search it up on web doesn't come up, so like I just hope that this video was able to deliver like message, and if people want to volunteer for you guys,
they can check out our website.
So I'll put the link down in the description. So all right, thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much. I'm gonna go to work now.